Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the third pool school sponsored by Billiard Factory. My name is Ken Santoro, and with us today we have Adam Clanton and Jaden Dupree. I've recognized quite a few attendees from previous pool schools, so we welcome you all back. Adam is a staple in the Houston sports in Houston sports, and is currently hosting the A-Team with Adam Wexler on Sports Talk 790 KBME at High Heart Radio. Jaden is also with us, and he is a master in trick shot artistry. You can find him on YouTube at Dupree Trick Shots, and you can join his over 143,000 subscribers. So I'd like to welcome both of you to pool school number 3. And Adam, I'll start with you. Go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Obviously, Billiard Factory putting this together has been fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing what Jaden can do. It's been kind of cool seeing what he can do on YouTube, and obviously he has a great following. But yeah, like you said, I've been a guy that's been around Houston sports for a long time. Always wanted a pool table, finally got one. Got it obviously from the Billiard Factory. Looking forward to enjoying that in our new home, and looking forward to enjoying learning a few new tricks tonight.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here too with Adam, sportscaster for some of my favorite sports teams, the Astros and the Rockets. I've been watching the Rockets forever. I thought about wearing an old James Harden jersey I got when I was in 6th grade, but it just looked too weird on me. From grown quite a bit since then. But yeah, I'm on YouTube, Dupree Trick Shots. We got about 140,000 subscribers. If you're here and you're subscribed to me, I appreciate you coming and helping me out. I partnered with Billiard Factory about a year ago. They gave me this awesome table. Told me I moved to Texas. I had no pool table. I still had my channel, and Billiard Factory thankfully came in clutch and got me this awesome table. So very excited to be here with you guys and Adam and everyone on the stream. And I know we got some giveaways to get to. And Adam's got the first one, $25 gift card, and we can see who it goes to.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I know a lot of people are wanting to get in on the action, and our good buddy Ken Santoro, who's the IT director for Billiard Factory, is going to spin the big wheel, and we'll see who's our first winner tonight. It's not the last giveaway, but it is the first one. So Ken, spin that wheel.
Yes, and while wheel is spinning, I'd like to point out that Adam is currently in our Stafford location, so enjoying some of the things the store has to offer while he's down there.
Yeah, it's a great showroom. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right, but Phil Gonsolin is our first winner, $25 gift card to Billiard Factory. So congratulations to you, Phil, and don't spend it all in one place, or do.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to get right into the trick shots here. So I'm very happy to be joined by Adam Clanton, sports guy. I'm pretty big into sports, mostly basketball. And everyone knows in basketball, the jump shot. And that's one of the pretty basic things that pool and basketball has in common, believe it or not. So I'm going to run through a few jump shots with you guys that actually I believe that you guys can do just as easily as you're about to see them. They're not super difficult, but they look super cool, and definitely they are a crowd pleaser. Now you might ask why I'm putting all these balls in this rack instead of shooting jump shots. Well, this rack is going to help all the balls go in, and you don't want it sliding around. So if you're shooting this and you're practicing your jump shots at your house, it's a great way to keep everything stable, so you don't have to walk over there every couple minutes and fix where the rack is. But first of all, basic jump shot. You got shaft of the cue right here, and you don't do that. I've never done that ever before. I said they were easy. But I just did that for dramatic effect. They're actually pretty simple. So a few jump shots, you just jack up the back of the cue, hit the ball pretty full, and you're able to make it jump over the shaft and go into that pocket. Now, looks pretty simple, but there are some fun ways you can mess with it, like behind the back. It's a fun shot. We're not even using the rack here. You can go underneath your leg if you can get your leg up on the scale. You can go, and this is the one that I sometimes struggle with a lot of practice. 100 into the pocket. And then this one by far, I am right-handed, so this one is pretty difficult. Left-handed, one-handed. Looks pretty stupid when you miss it, but I almost counted that. This one is definitely the hardest one for me. I'm gonna give it a few more tries before I just resort to something different. Yeah, I made this first try in the last pool school for everyone joining. There we go. There we go. That one's always the hardest one for me. But there's a few jump shots you can practice just to mess around in a pool hall. Some jump shots that don't mess up the felt, so nobody will get mad at you for shooting those. But we got some more shots. So Adam does a lot with the Houston Rockets, and they're one of my favorite teams. I've actually been to a Rockets game. It was a pretty fun game. I traveled quite a bit to get there. And there is a famous shot in pool called the Rocket Masse. Now, if you don't know what
Hey, Jaden.
Yeah.
I would like to think while you're setting that up, Adam would like to try that jump shot over in our Kirkwood store.
Yeah, let's see. Go ahead, try it.
Try that jump shot.
Do you have a jump cue anywhere near you?
I think I could just pull something off the
With the regular one?
up here.
I'm actually very excited to see this.
Oh, are you? You just want? I think I actually need a smaller one.
Yeah, just jump cue's a bit lighter than other cues, and it helps spring the ball off the table. There you go. He's grabbing you. I think he's grabbing you a jump cue. Yeah, there you go.
So I was actually on the Zoom, the panel of everyone else that's on it was kind of covering up how you were doing that initial shot when you first started doing it.
Here, let me grab my cue. So when you're shooting regular pool, you want a level cue, but when you're shooting a jump shot, a lot of people think that the ball is just like flying up magically somehow, but it's actually going off the slate of the table and then jumping. So you want to elevate the back of it and like you're hitting down. So move, yeah.
I need to switch these up.
So just elevate just a little bit, and you want to hit around like the center of the cue ball and just hit it pretty hard, and that cue ball should pop up.
Does my hand need to be on the table or just up in the air like this?
When I was doing it, I was doing what's called an air bridge, which is fine. It's a bit more difficult if you don't play as often and your hands aren't as stable, but you can do it either way. There you go. Look at that.
First try.
You got some air on that.
I just didn't know if I needed to have it down, and that kind of answers my question.
Yeah, you already got it down, man.
Finally missed. I got.
I'll try that one-handed one. It's a bit harder.
It looks. See, now I'm thinking about it. You got me all wrapped.
Now everyone's watching.
There we go.
Almost.
That was a little too rough.
All right.
All right. Not
Yeah.
bad.
You got it down. You got the jump shot down. You told me you don't play. You told me you don't play, and you can already make jump shots first try?
I mean, I'm like right in the middle. I'm not an expert, obviously, like you, but I'm not terrible. I kind of know my way around a pool table, so I wouldn't have gotten one if I didn't.
Well, this next shot is called the Rocket Masse. And basically, I have it set up a little more complicated than usual. Now, this is a pretty hard shot, and just so you don't make anyone mad, shoot this on your own table because masse shots can sometimes mess up the felt of the table. So Adam, with your brand new table at home, I don't know if this is kind of the first shot you want to do on it, but you do go ahead, but it will leave like little white marks on the table that aren't too visually pleasing. So if you're just out at a pool hall, I'm pretty sure the owners will be very thankful if you don't try this on their tables. But it's called the Rocket Masse, and the goal of the shot is just to elevate the cue up and strike down on the cue ball. So it's spinning backwards as it goes forwards, and once it hits this ball and makes it, all of that backspin will come back and it'll hit this rack and make this 14. Now I've added this just if we get a little lucky with the bounce off the rack. That one is really not really in my control, but it'll look really, really cool and it'll look like I intended it if I made it. So we're gonna go ahead here, and this one is a bit difficult, so you might have to give me a couple tries on this one. I'm pulling out some harder shots today. And I went right in between the two racks. This one you always want to hit with a little bit of left spin. I didn't have enough spin, so the cue ball kind of hugs the rail as it's going down.
So you're hitting directly down onto the top, right?
Yes, like all the way up. As I said earlier in the call, some people were astonished at my height. I'm 6'5", 6'6". A lot of people like to put their leg up on the table to get far down on the ball, but I'm lucky enough to where I can just stand. But if you're trying this at your own table and you're having trouble hitting it, you can put your leg up on this table and then you get a little bit higher. But it is a pretty hard shot to get down. It's probably the hardest technique in pool, really. I think that's not really arguable. I think people consider it the hardest technique in pool. But it's a fun shot once you're able to hit it pretty accurately. Oh, I almost got that roll on that second rack. I'm gonna try it one more time to get that roll on that second rack, and then.
So you're trying to get it to hit off that second ball over here at the corner and then come back to hit the third one, correct?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it, the cue ball to come down here and hit off this side of the rack, so the cue ball flies over and is able to hit the second ball.
Gotcha.
So some people do this shot. This is a very, very common shot, just making it go down and make that ball. But there are some very fun ways you can do it. You can experiment yourself and make it a bit crazy. I'm going to give it one more run to see if I can make both of them. Oh, that looks good.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
That is nicely done right there. Now, have you ever bet on yourself doing something like this and being able to pull it off in like a high pressure situation?
I've done masses in real tournament games. Nothing quite like that. This is a whole special cue that was custom made for me for masse. So it's such a difficult thing that some people need a whole extra cue. The real cue won't really do what you just saw. So it's shorter and it's a bit heavier, so you get more power on the ball.
Yeah.
But with a regular cue, you can kind of do the same thing, and it's pretty common in games where you don't want to shoot a jump shot. So you can like curve a ball. Like if this ball, if I'm trying to make that, I've never bet money on me making a masse shot, but I technically have bet tournament money on me making one, because if I missed it, I would have lost the tournament. But you don't have to go all the way up. I just hit my fan there. You don't have to go all the way up. You can go just slightly up, and that cue ball will still curve around. It's a bit faster, but that is a shot that you can use in a tournament or playing with friends to make the game a bit easier.
So did that just jump over it or go around it? I couldn't really tell.
It went around. I can shoot it from this angle, and maybe it's a bit more clear, but it went to the side. You aim to the side and then go around. I'm going to use another cue ball as a blocker here and try to make this 9 ball. Hopefully this camera angle will be a bit better. But if you elevate up, I got it to hit it. You can elevate up. Don't go in. Okay. You can elevate up and then get enough curve on it so that it goes around the ball.
That's just essentially if you're trying to make a shot and there's something in the way that you don't want to hit, that's when
Yeah. So there's really only 3 ways to avoid that. You can kick at a ball, so hit off a rail and try to make it, which is not my greatest shot, so I don't like to shoot that. as often. You can jump it, which I'm pretty okay at, but there's some like stances where you don't want to jump, and mass A would be better. So it's always great just to have that up your sleeve, just in case.
Okay.
Now this is probably one of the craziest shots.
Oh boy.
And I don't believe I've done this on a pool school before. If I have, hopefully you liked it, but I don't think I've done this one before. This is originally called the sky bounce or the space bounce, but since we got Adam with me, I'm gonna call it the astro bounce. But this is another kind of crazy jump shot. I'm just gonna stack stuff on top of stuff just as a blocker.
I like where this is going.
Yeah, so if my computer gets broken in this process, you'll know what happened. So if my screen goes black, goodbye everybody, thanks for coming. But this is a pretty difficult shot, and again, one that I don't recommend near any valuable items. So
this mass, room of expensive items.
yeah, so I don't know if Billiard Factory would be very happy with you trying this shot around all their expensive cues, but you can give it a go if you want. I think you got enough room. I've done one in a Billiard Factory store before, so I know it's possible. But this one is pretty hard. So it's called the sky bounce, and what you do is you actually throw the cue ball before you even hit it. So obviously you don't use this in a real game because there's not board games and billiard ball boxes on the table in real games, but you bounce the ball, and while it's in the air off the bounce, you hit it again. It bounces back onto the table, has enough air to get over this, and go over there to make that 7 ball with the crazy rack combination I had over there. So this is a pretty difficult shot, as you can understand.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give my best goes at it, and I've gotten pretty good at it. I've done this over people, so I kind of trust my accuracy on this one.
Where were the people standing when you did this?
I think at most I had 2 people lay down on the table right here.
Oh my goodness.
And then I was over here, and as soon as the ball hit the table, they were switching all over the place. They thought I did something wrong or
Trust, man.
wrong.
Adam, you could try this with one of our salesmen.
Oh yeah. He's over here to lay down on the table. He looks very enthused to try this.
But I'm gonna give my best shot at it. I'm gonna just try. My phone is right there. I should probably move it, but I'm gonna trust myself. I think I can make it. But there's first chance where you hit the people. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I'm over it that time, but I'm getting closer.
See, this is like watching the equivalent of an NBA dunk contest where the guy needs a few attempts to get the dunk to go. That's what this reminds me of.
Yeah, this is definitely 10, I would say.
Yeah.
I think the judges would give this a 10.
Oh, nice. There it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's always a fun one to pull out because not a lot of people have seen that one. There's some trick shots that are pretty famous, the hustler shot, all the stuff that you see in the movies, but nothing like that. There's not even a shot that compares to that.
So I have to ask you though, and this is probably for people that are watching this, maybe they're listeners of mine that aren't really sure where this all started for you. Did you just play a lot of pool at a young age? Because you're still young, but then just decide that was too boring just to play pool and you wanted to just start inventing this stuff or figuring out if you could, how did this all come about for you?
Well, I'm 17 now. I started playing when I was 12. So it hasn't been like a long family tradition to play pool and start a YouTube channel and do trick shots and stuff. But there is a guy on YouTube. I saw some pool trick shots on YouTube, and I actually started with trick shots. Now I play more of a regular game. but definitely started on trick shots, and trick shots have helped me in my regular game in ways that I can't even really explain. I just can see the table differently now that I know some cool tricks. But started when I was 12, started uploading some stuff, and then I started making my own shots. And this actually is not my own shot. I need to give credit where credit is due. A guy named Steve Markle came up with this, and everybody in the trick shot scene loved it. It's a great shot. He's another great player. There's a lot of great trick shot artists out there, but I started making my own shots. I started trying to make simple shots more complex, like some famous shots with that shot with that 2 racks there. Just adding on extra stuff just really kept the game fun for me. And it just got so, I just played so often. I began playing regular pool and then getting better at that. And then now I pretty much just do both. So it's been a long 5 years of doing this and making new shots and stuff. But all started, I was 12 and I saw a YouTube video and I thought it'd be cool if I tried it.
I mean, from 12 to 17, and you've got 143,000 subscribers. That's pretty impressive, man. It's all credit where it's due to you, man.
I appreciate it. And I got one more shot that you can shoot in the Billiards Factory store. So it's going to take some setting up. So you're going to need, what is it? You're going to need 4 cues, 1 to shoot with and 3 for the shot. So the guy who got you the jump cue to help you out again, that'd be awesome.
So regular size cues?
Regular size cues.
We need 4 total?
4 total, and 1 is just for you to shoot with. And this is actually the first shot I ever uploaded on social media.
Okay.
We can get the other cues involved here. I guess this was in here, right?
And this Rassin table actually makes this shot a lot easier and a lot cooler. I was shooting this shot on an old house table, and the pockets above were actually, they're not as high as this, so when I would shoot it, the ball would fly off the table. But with this Rassin table, it works perfectly. It's so much easier than it used to be.
Would like to point out that our salesman gave you one of our finest house cues.
Yeah.
One of the finest house cues to lay on the table and ram balls into. So
Yeah, this is a nice Christmas present. I'm not going to give away how much exactly you would go for this, but this is a very nice Christmas present if you're looking for somebody very happy that is a pool enthusiast, for sure.
So I'm going to try to explain this to you the best. So we got, take 2 cues and kind of put them together and lay them inside the pocket like as far as they can go.
So
like the back end of the cues are going to be into the pocket.
are they flush with the back of the table?
No, you're just going to try to aim because there's going to be another cue. So you got 2 right here. The cue ball is actually going to go in the middle of 1 cue and then the 2 and then go up and curve around the corner pocket and then travel down these 2 cues. So this is kind of like a railroad, like a track for the cue ball.
Jaden?
So you want to face it towards the side pocket.
Jaden, can you set that up in the corner pocket near your cell phone?
Yeah, for sure. So you take the back of 2 cues, put them in the pocket, and then line it up towards this side pocket right here.
Okay.
Can't see Adam screwing out. It looks like he's got it. Yeah. So then you take the other cue and create a little opening, but put that in the back of the pocket as well.
Let me get these lined up.
Okay. So now I'm gonna make it a little bit harder on you. Some people will just shoot it straight up into this opening. We're not doing that. It's way too easy. You also need a ball at this side pocket right here. This is the one that you're trying to make.
So right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna take your cue ball, put it basically in the middle of the table, and then you're going to aim over here by the first diamond is where you're trying to aim the cue ball. And you're actually gonna go 3 rails into this opening.
Okay.
So it looks pretty complicated, but I guarantee you can do this.
Okay.
And you actually want to hit a little bit to the left of the center of the cue ball, not a lot, just a little bit. You can do it in the center, but the left just helps it go a bit faster. And you're gonna shoot it pretty hard. Oh, it got stuck in this little portion of the pocket. Shoot it. I'll try that again, just a little bit harder so it goes over that little cut in the pocket. There we go. And it goes around the pocket, onto the sticks, down the sticks, into the 9-ball.
Where do you come up with this stuff? This is insane.
It's such a fun shot. I mean, this has been around for probably 100 years, to be honest. This is like one of the most used shots in pool. Not in a real game, obviously, but just messing around. So if you got everything set up right, it's all about the setup with this shot. That's a lot of pool trick shots. It's all about the setup.
Clearly. I'm worried about the first part of it.
So you just aim. Your cue ball is pretty much in the middle of the table, somewhere around there. Aim for this first diamond over here. And then a little bit of left spin. And then just hit it however. And it'll go into that opening.
There's no way I'm going to do this.
No, you got it. Oh, you were so close.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah, you can totally do this. You see how close you were?
that's kind of crazy. I didn't think I was going to be able to do that close, at least on the first try.
Yeah, with these 3-rail kicks, they open up pretty much all to the same angle. So there's a lot of room for error in this shot. Oh, you got it in there.
If I pull this off, my wife, I'm going to have bragging rights. Oh, I'm so close.
Did that not go around?
It like got caught in the middle and then just kind of rolled out. So I'm getting there.
Try it again. That happened to mine too. That's kind of a rare occurrence. You might be hitting it a little too hard, it looks like. It looks like you're hitting it so hard that it like bounces while it's up here and you just want it to roll.
I'm going to get a little easy touch then.
Yeah, that looks good.
So I got it up there. I just need to.
Is there a gap in the cues between the pocket? Because you might need to push the cues back a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Okay.
Right there and kind of stop the momentum.
So you got the shot down.
Yeah, for sure. I think I have the strength now, or lack thereof, I guess. Let's see if this does.
Ooh. You're so close to it.
I know. I'm like, I want to get this done, man. I want to actually pull it off. This might
That
be-
looks good.
There it goes. There it
That
goes.
looks good.
Oh, come on. You got to hit the ball now. Nice.
Yeah, there you go. There it is.
That's really
Got a
cool.
virtual applause.
It's just insane.
That's a pretty cool shot. It's fun to watch. The best part about it is you know you've made it for like 30 seconds before the ball even goes in.
For sure. Once you get on those two that are together, it's going to happen.
It's automatic. So we're going to go ahead and open the floor to some questions from the audience. So if you can submit your questions, there's a little Q&A option down there, but we also have some questions from the social media page that have been submitted before. So some people said that they would like to see breakdowns of how the pros practice to get cue ball control and positioning. Now, Adam, do you know about spin on the cue ball and what happens to it?
I know there's spin involved, but I have no idea like you probably do, that's for sure.
Okay, so the pros, when you say pros, you automatically think about making a bunch of balls in a row and doing everything like to a super complicated level. And in some parts that's true, but for positioning, not really. So the game of 9-ball, if you think about it, is really just three ball runouts. So if you can run 3 balls, you can run a game of 9-ball. There's just a little bit of traffic involved. So the way I practice, and most people practice positioning, is not throwing out a ton of balls and trying to run through them all. I just put out 3. And it makes me look like a really bad player at first, because it's like, this guy's only running 3 balls, but it gets you so in touch with the game that running 3 balls for like 30 minutes before you play just makes the game so much easier. So the way I do it, I just roll out 3 balls. I set rules for myself, like which pocket each ball has to go in before I shoot it. So with this, I'm going to make the 1 ball here, the 5 here, and also the 9 here. And if for some reason I get out of line, we start over. There's no plan B on this. So I just try to imagine in my head where I want the cue ball for the next shot. And really, if you look at it, the reason the pros make the game look so easy is because they're not out here shooting terribly hard shots. They're all shots like this because their positioning is so good because they've got those 3 balls down. You're always thinking 3 balls ahead in the game. So even if there's 9 balls on the table, I'm not concerned with 4 through 9. I'm on 1, 2, 3, and then after the 1 goes down, I'm on 2, 3, 4, and it keeps going on like that. So that's how I practice my positioning play. And they also wanted to know defense strategies. Now, Adam, did you know there was defense at all in pool? That seems to be something that shocks some people.
But yeah, but you're trying to keep your opponent from winning, not just by beating them straight up. You want to make things difficult for them, obviously.
Yeah. I played with a lot of friends that just shoot crazy at the ball, and they have no idea. They think I miss when I'm playing defense, but really it's exactly what I wanted to happen. Now, I showed this game in our last pool school. I don't want to take up a lot of time because we're already running a bit over, but just to show you guys, I'm not going to rack it with a rack. I'm just going to hand rack it. So looks like 9-ball. But the goal is you're not trying to make any ball. You're just trying to hide the cue ball from the 1 ball. So 9-ball, you have to make them, or at least hit them all in order. So no matter what ball's on the table, you always got to hit the lowest one first. So you break, and instead of power breaking, you're just trying to hide that cue ball behind other balls. So I've got this wall of balls hiding from the 1 ball there. If you were up here or something, you can play off the 1 ball and try to get behind another one of those balls, and I failed, so that would be a miss on my part. And you have 3 misses until the game is over. You can play with people. This is a real game that some pros even gamble at. 2 of the best players in the world played this game for I think $2,500, and it's a cool game, and it really helps. So just hiding that 1 ball by other balls. So I have this huge block of balls, and it can get pretty boring by yourself. But if you're practicing, this is a way to make safeties a bit more fun. You're never going to have fun just hitting a ball over and over and practicing the same shot, but at least you can get some variety. And this also helps with your kicking game, so you don't just move ball in hand like I did. You actually try to hit the 1 ball again. So like this case, this is a pretty tough hit, but you try to just kick at that 1 ball. It looks like I got it there.
Nice.
And I did not get safe, so that would, even though I made a good kick, it's still a miss. So shots like that, games like this always make the game a bit more fun when you're practicing. And I think that's the best way to practice because we're not all trying to be professional players. We're just trying to be the best player we can be and have fun while we're doing it. So if we got any more questions, I see a few. I see 7 in the Q&A chat.
Let's see. I don't know if it'll come up here.
Jimmy here, I have a question for you. What kind of music do you listen to while I'm practicing at home? Huge fan. I listen to some Jimmy Mercado music. Jimmy Mercado is my friend from Austin. He has a few solo projects. He has a band called Favor. Check him out. I listen to him all the time while I'm playing. How many pool sticks do I have? I have probably around 10, but only 3 that I use in games. I have a break cue, I have a regular playing cue, and I have a jump cue. Obviously, the name says what they're for. Break cues for breaking, jump cues for jumping, and playing cues for playing. How do you curve a ball?
Jaden, on the jump cue, you said you had a special cue for masse shots.
Oh, yes, but I don't use the masse cues in a game. It's kind of just like a trick shot artist thing because you got to get them custom made. This one was custom made for me in Los Angeles by a guy named Abram Diaz. It's a beautiful cue, but I don't use it in games. It's not really necessary for me to take with me to a tournament.
But the masse cue is going to have a really soft tip on it, isn't it?
Yeah, mine, I think it's, the brand is Elkmaster, and it is a soft tip, and it's also a bit wider than normal tips, just so you get more contact area on the ball. It makes it a bit easier to hit it. And we have a few more. What's my main cue to use while playing? Well, I got this cue from Billiard Factory. This is the Q-Tech Synergy with a carbon fiber shaft. So you're not going to put any dents in this thing. And it's got pretty low deflection on it. So when you hit the ball, it pretty much goes wherever you want it, if your aim is correct. But I love this cue. I've been playing with it since December now, and I haven't changed. I used to play with a wooden cue, and this is just so much better in my opinion. How do you curve a ball around a ball? So that is that masse shot I was talking about. I'm going to use the real game example, just because it's a bit more realistic. So again, 9 ball, you have to hit the lowest numbered ball on the table. So let's say we're trying to make that 1 ball. We're blocked by the 3. Kick shot is pretty easy in this example, but also a masse is pretty easy. So you just elevate the cue. And wherever you want it to curve, that's the direction. So I want to curve right, so I'm going to put right spin on it. And also a little bit of bottom helps. So just elevate a little bit, bottom right, and then you can curve around that ball. And it can get pretty accurate. I'd say I make that shot probably out of 20 times, I'd probably make it 19. Once you practice it, it gets pretty simple.
Are you hitting it from the left or the right side when you do that to go around to the left? You're hitting it from the right side or just right?
What do you mean? Where am I aiming the ball?
Yeah, when you're hitting the cue ball, where exactly are you hitting it on the cue ball?
So on the face of the cue ball, I'm hitting like bottom and to the right of it.
Okay.
Not so far to where it miscues, but bottom and to the right. And I'm actually aiming about right here.
Okay.
There are some like aiming systems. They're way too mathematical for me to even want to deal with them. But it's mainly just feel from now on. You can go around the other way of the ball too. Like either now this way would be bottom left since I'm curving left. And again, I'm aiming around here. It's just a feel thing. You're gonna have to try it out. I don't have a specific system for aiming and curve and all of that. I just hit what feels right, and then usually it's right. How do you maximize your break shot? Now, you always, when you're breaking, you want the goal is to get the cue ball to stop somewhere in the center of the table. That's always a good help. If you don't know where to put the cue ball, put it in the center of the table. You'll pretty much always have a shot. So on an 8-ball break, you want to hit the balls. I put the cue ball fairly close to the middle of the table down here and then break with my break cue. And I try to get a little bit of top spin on my cue ball, so where when it bounces back from impacting the rack, it'll land somewhere about here and then roll forward a little bit and then end up in the center of the table. Now, that's a thing that you can't get 100% of the time because you have 15 balls flying around the table. One of them might hit the cue ball. Happens a lot. But just so you can get a bit more accuracy on your break, that's a good thing to do. And some good warm-up drills, that 3-ball drill that I showed, that's pretty much all I do. Just hit 3 balls in a row. Tell yourself what pocket and where you want the cue ball before you even shoot the first ball. And that's it. Demonstrate a slip stroke. Now, a slip stroke is pretty complicated, and I don't use one, so I would not actually be the best guy to talk to that about. I don't even have YouTube videos on that. I don't shoot with a slip stroke. I think that's more of like a 60s thing. A lot of the older players use that, and I've heard it works very well, but I just don't know how to shoot it. I'm just being honest here. Can you show once again the proper stroke technique of the cue, your stance and stroke? So when I'm shooting, say a draw shot with backspin, I'm over here and I first look at where I want the 3-ball to go, this red ball to go. And I actually imagine that there's another ball right there where the cue ball needs to contact, because the cue ball needs to hit this 8-ball like in the center of the face, but this is imaginary. It's hard to explain. It's called the ghost ball technique. This 8-ball is imaginary, but I'm picturing it there, and I'm trying to get my cue ball to hit that ball full in the face. So what I do is I draw a line between center of my cue ball and the center of that imaginary ball, and I put my right back foot, because I'm right-handed, I put my foot on that line. That automatically makes it to where you extend your foot and you go down, your cue is automatically on that line. So all the aiming and stuff is done when you're standing up. You're never aiming while you're down. And then my stroke, I get down, and then I have a few practice strokes, and then I just follow through, and you try not to drop your elbow. You want as little movement as possible. So if you're down and you catch yourself like looking at the next ball and wondering what you're gonna do, get back up, start the whole thing over again. You want your elbow to stay as level as possible, and it's mainly all on the wrist. So I'm just using 2 fingers on the back of my cue. The other ones are just kind of there floating, and then just using my wrist. And that is the best way to do it, I think, in my opinion, and most of the opinions of others. You're welcome, David.
I think that wraps up the question and answer. I didn't see any more in the queue there.
I think that does as well.
Adam, what are you going to do now when you go home?
I'm going to show off, obviously. Bring friends over, and they'll be unawares, if you will, and then just start busting out these trick shots and just say I taught myself. I won't give any credit to Jaden here.
That's the only way. That's the only way.
It really is like, that's pretty cool that you've amassed this following and that you've been able to do all this at the age that you are. That's the most impressive part of all of this. 17-year-old kid, not meaning that an insult at all. It's just you haven't worked very long, and you're able to accumulate this following for something that's very impressive that you can do. It's awesome.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I've worked pretty hard. That first year of YouTube, first year from 12 to 13, I had like 100 subscriber gain that whole year. And then from 13 to 14, I was up to 1,000, and then it just kind of took off from there. So it took a while to see those gains for anyone that wants to start a YouTube channel like I did. I'm not going to be your competitor. You can show whatever you want, do your pull trick shots on YouTube. And it's been a long ride to having studio lights and stuff. It's pretty cool. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Go
And
ahead and give away.
Yeah, it's time for that second giveaway, $25 gift card. As Ken matched the Billiard Factory wheel for us. And again, Billiard Factory will get in touch with you about things. I hope I'm pronouncing that right as well, but that's our second winner. So congratulations, $25 gift card from the Billiard Factory.
It is time to wrap this up. I'd like to thank Adam and Jaden for being here tonight. And I'd like to thank everybody who attended. We do have an appreciation gift for you. We'll be sending everyone a 15% discount off accessories. So please visit billiardfactory.com. Also, please check your inbox and your spam folder because you never know where these emails end up nowadays. Also, Billiard Factory would like to thank or wish all of you a safe and wonderful Thanksgiving and holiday season. And no matter what you do, we hope you're doing, or we hope you're creating special memories and times with your family and friends this year. Thank you, everybody, and be safe.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you
Thank
guys
you.
watching. Thanks to Jaden.
thank you, Adam.